So at the heart and soul of Selenium are these things called locators. Locators are a great way for you to actually maneuver through HTML documents, right? And so there's two types of locators. There's structure-based locators, and these locators rely on the structure of the page to find elements. So you can use XPath or DOM or CSS. And then you also have the attribute-based locators. These locators rely on the attributes of the elements themselves to locate those elements. Things like the ID, the identifier, the name, link, and CSS. Well, all day long, you should hedge your bets mostly against attribute-based locators as opposed to structure-based locators, because attribute-based locators are generally more concrete and will not change, as time goes on. The ID of an object generally remains the ID of an object, and the same with the name of an object. That generally remains the name of an object. So that being said, what do we do with this, right? So in our first example here on the Hello World test we just did, we used an attribute-based locator which was by name. Okay, and so we were able to go through and open up, the actual HTML and look for the name of the object. So we again want to use Udemy.com as our main example here. So we know that there is this login button here. So the first thing that we want to see if we can do is get find out what items we have to utilize this login button. Okay, so does this login button have a name? Does it have an ID? Does it have anything that we can utilize so that it won't actually ever change? So we know that this is an ahref, and the value of this ahref is login, so that's something that we can use. It doesn't seem to have an ID or a name, so that's not something that we can use. So we can remember that. And then also maybe there's another way. So we also have potentially this button here and this email, this email field here. So this input here has an email address or the ID of email. Okay, so we know that that's going to be easy enough to use. And then how about password here? Password has an ID of password. That's great. And then how about this login button? So this login button has a value of login as well. So let's see. Anything else we can do here? No. So for right now, we know that we have to hedge our bets against the value being login and the ID being email address and password for those other cases, right? So that's what we're going to focus on. We're going to take note of these values here, and we're going to focus on, making a test so that we can try our first incorrect login. Okay. Okay. So what's the first thing we have to do? So we're going to change our test here, and we're still going to use Firefox. But instead of opening up Google.com, we're going to ask it to open up Udemy.com. And let's go ahead, let's test that. So let's make sure it opens up Firefox with Udemy.com. And this is it opening up. I just dragged it on here. Alright, so something's wrong here. I spelled something wrong. Udemy.com. Okay, because I'm the smartest guy in the world. Alright, resave, rerun. Let's verify that that opens. Drag them back in. Alright, so we got Udemy.com. So what we have to know is you can find element by link text, by name, by ID, and by class name. Okay? So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to, go ahead and find this element by link text. Okay? So that's going to be our first step. And then we're going to go ahead and click on that element so that we can bring up the other login features. Okay. So we're going to do that right now. So we're going to do by.link text, and the link text in this case, well, is going to be login. So we're gonna get by link text login, and then we have our query right here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and send a click command. So we're gonna go ahead and send a click command. If I could spell right, we'd be done by now. Alright, so we're gonna send a click command, and I'm gonna run. I'm gonna drag it over so you can see what happened here. So it opened up udemy.com, and it's gonna go ahead and click on login. And then now we're up. Okay, perfect. And then now we know how to find things by ID from last time. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy and paste here. And we're going to do by ID. And the ID for the other one was, let's look. We've got to double verify now. We're not as smart as we once were. Bam. So the ID that we want for this field right here, I believe, was email. Yep, ID email, and for this one here, it was password. Alright, and then do we have an ID for our login button or just a value? So we got value, anything else? We might have to use this button success for our class. In fact, we're going to have to. Alright, so cool. So we have a few steps we have to do here. So we've already clicked on the login button. The next step is fill out username. The next step after that is fill out password. And then the next step after that is click login. Alright, so we know for login that the class is button success. So I'm going to leave that there, and everything that we do, we're going to have to do a find by element. And so for the first one, it was email. And for the second one, it was password. And then for the third one, it wasn't by ID, but it was by class name. Right, and then let's clear up my little stuff here. My little sloppiness. And then we're going to click, and then we're going to use that. And then our goal here is to actually check to see if we didn't log in correctly, but it's alright. Hold on, let's do one thing at a time. So we're going to do a dot send keys, and the values we're going to send are test build login. And we're going to do test build password. And then we're going to click. Good. So let's see if that actually happens. This user does not exist, so we expect this to error out, but that is actually going to be our test at the end of the day. Let's check to make sure that an invalid login errors out. So, duplicate local variable query, send keys, so we don't have to define it. We'll just reuse it. Good. Run. Proceed. How did I mess up again? One more time, people. Play. Alright, so Firefox is opening up. We're clicking login. Test build login, test build password. It clicked it. I don't know what happened. Oh, it doesn't, it's not an email address. So let's go ahead and put a bad email address in here at bcc.com. Bam. We'll play one more time. Alright, now. So that did it again. And in this case, please check your email and password. So it doesn't look like we're actually clicking the login button here, people. So we got to make sure that we make that happen. So let's go look at this one more time. And I did a button hyphen success, right? That's what I used, was button hyphen success. Okay, so class name's not going to work here. So what I want to do is, I want to actually use by CSS selector. And we'll wipe out the rest here, and we have input type equals submit, because it's the submit value, right? And then we want the we know that the value is equal to login. We'll wrap that up, and then we're going to click it here. So let's see if that works, okay? So it's about to open up Firefox. Just open up Firefox. I'm dragging it over here. We're clicking in login. Bam, we got our pop-up. Bam. Test build login. And then now that we know that, please check your email and password. Okay? So we're going to have to inspect that. It went away on us. We're gonna have to find that error action right there, and inspect it and find out what it is, so that we can use that to verify that the login and password are incorrect when we insert an incorrect login and password. We'll start that on the next class here. We need to go over Firebug and Firepath and show you how to use those as effective tools in furthering your Selenium career here. Thank you. We'll talk to you in a minute.